Hello. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. I need to order more collagen powder. We are almost out. Almost done with our collagen powder, which is, not ideal. I know, wasn't that a cute book? Such a cute book. Such a cute book. Good morning. Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? How's everyone feeling? It's so rainy here. Oh, shh, 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 shh. Supposedly it's gonna rain here until Wednesday. Oh, put my glasses on. Thanks. It's supposed to be just for reading. I'm not supposed to do that. How's everyone doing this morning? Boys are touring technical high school today. Oh, engineering program. They do that in New York too, where they have like different types of high schools. We don't have that really in California, but in New York they do. Sad. I'm currently on episode Rush Report. One of my greatest creations. The Rush Report. Morning. Yeah, I don't know why it still says that. I tried to change it to say book club. Your niece is doing one for vet med. Wow, in high school? Wow, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I tried to change it to say book club, but it still says the slime stuff, which is weird, but that's what it is, I guess. It is what it is. Anyone doing anything fun this weekend? We are cleaning, because we have guests coming next weekend, so we're spending this whole weekend cleaning. And finishing setting up someone's room, sort of. Like her bed's not here yet, and a couple other things aren't here yet, but we'll like clean and put things where they're gonna go. Hey Amanda. I'm going to post it on YouTube, Nikki, so that you can see it, because it was funny. And I'm also going to take some clips of it for here, because it was pretty weird. Making those video games and hanging with the husband. You know what? That sounds perfect, honestly. What video game? Zip. Game Zip. Usually if I'm playing a game, it's the game. But some people play more than one game at once, which is also totally fine. I need to descal our coffee machine today. I need to descal the bottle washer today. A lot of stuff has to get done today. A lot. It's one of my auntie's days off tomorrow, so I'm doing nothing. Hey, that's fun. Current Obsession Farm Together 2. I don't know that one, but it sounds like something I would enjoy. I love those old farming games. Farm Together 2. If I ever have time to play a game again, I'll look that up. I miss Dreamlight Valley, you guys. I really do. It was so fun. But I'm like 17 years behind on it. It's on all platforms, I'll be honest. I know she gets some college credits. Yeah, I mean, that's great. College credits. Oops, jeez. College credits in high school. Big win. Big win. What's Township, Nisa? I know, Dreamlight Valley is so good. I've had it since day one. Wait, there's a good price on Liquid IV right now? I didn't even know. Are you serious? Because I'll go buy some. I'm like almost out. I go through it a lot, so I just have to buy a lot, you know? If it's a good price, in my shop it's a good price, okay, I'll buy it from my own shop. I didn't know. Shows what I know, right, Ray? I will buy it right after the live. Less than $16 for one of those 24 packs? Oh, I'm gonna buy that. Oh my gosh, wait, can I get it right now? Hold on, is that even possible? Whoa, it is, it's $15.56? Dude, I'm gonna buy it right the F now. That's a great price. I'm buying it now. I don't care that we're on the live, I need this. Okay, I'm buying it right now, sorry guys. Yeah, okay. I just bought it from myself during the live because it is what it is. And free shipping, I know. Okay, so that's what I did. I bought it. The game is where you get factories on every level and you have to, oh, that sounds like something I would enjoy as well. Okay, so apparently it's a good price. Thanks, Ray, for letting us know. I didn't know. I was just pinning stuff that I use regularly to make TikTok happy, but I actually do use this, so I bought it just now, like a crazy person in the middle of the live. That makes me a little Looney Tune, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Do you get credit if we get other flavors too? I think so. I have no idea, but buy whatever speaks to you. Don't worry about me. Get the good price while the good price is good. You know? Hot. Jenna, I also want a junk journal. I just saw somebody in here, his name is Junk Journal Jenna. It does beat the Costco price. We were just at Costco like 2 weeks ago and we got some, but this is a better price. I want a junk journal. I've always wanted to do that, but I never have the time. One day I'm gonna do it. I booted you out of the live for buying it? That's cruel, Ray. Well, Ray is the hero of the day because she's the one who let us all know that this was the price. I wasn't even paying attention. I just added it to the thing just because I actually use it. And like, they like ding you if you don't add stuff anymore. So I was like, whatever, I'll add all the stuff I actually use. And hey, Kasara, and it actually turns out that it's like, it must be like a pre-Black Friday sale or something like that. I don't even know, but I don't care because I need it because it helps my breast milk production. That's the reason I get it. Everybody else can get it for whatever speaks to them. Listen, I always said shit. Yeah, no, I mean, you're doing the Lord's work, clearly. But, okay, so let's have a chat about our book. I thought we were gonna get into Connor stories yesterday and I was all hyped for that and it wasn't true. We were doing all the like pre-Connor stuff yesterday, but today, friends, we are actually, I know, right? Have you and Secret Husband seen the mom-dad journals? No. Speak more on this. Mom-dad journals? Dude, tell me more. I want one. Okay, you'll send me a link, thank you. Yeah, super intrigued. So anyway, today we are diving into the world of Connor Bailey's stories. I need you all to just like sit with me in this moment because it's so funny and it's so good. It's crazy that we didn't get to Connor's yesterday because we read 73 chapters. I know. I want that, Nikki. We big want that, yes. So anyway, we are, oh my gosh, wait. Before, she wears that dino romper literally like every week. Can I tell you guys something funny that happened with one of the books that Nikki sent us? So Nikki sent us a whole host of books for Baby Book Club, which we're gonna go through and we're gonna read them all together. It's great. But we have them in stacks over there. Like I can see them from where I'm standing, because we didn't want to put them with the other books that we've already read in Baby Book Club. We wanted them to be separated so we remembered which ones still needed to be read for Baby Book Club. Fine, right? I'm cleaning, so I put them all in a stack. Last night, I put the baby to bed, like I do every day. My husband's out here doing whatever, yada yada, and all of a sudden we're going to sit down on the couch to eat dinner. And as I walk by, nothing happens. He walks over to join me on the couch, and baby music starts to play. We don't know why, right? Just out of nowhere, little kid music, like baby music, just plays. And we're like, okay, that was weird. Don't know where it came from. We sit down, whatever, yada yada. He gets up to get something else. It happens again, and he's like, this doesn't make me feel good about myself. And I'm like, it has to be one of the kid books, like it's going off. And he's like, me walking by set off this book. I was like, well, you must have like offset the floor, and it like shifted the stack of books. We've been visited by the baby fairy, yeah, for sure. And so he found it, and we turned it off for the night, you know, not forever, but like I wish I had it recorded, because he turned and looked at me and he was like, what is happening right now? And I was like, I genuinely don't know what's happening, because it just like, it was like, we were silent, the room was silent, and then all of a sudden baby music. Anyway, that's not what we're here. We're here to read An Author's Odyssey. Today we are reading chapter 7, which is shocking because we only started this book like 2 days ago. We are rocking and rolling through this book because, I mean, everything is good in these books, but this is great. So, chapter 7 is called The Captain and Her Crew. All right, well, I packed you both a turkey sandwich, chips, yogurt, a banana, 2 bottles of water, and a cookie, Charlotte said. There's also a sweatshirt, a flashlight, a Swiss Army knife, a first aid kit, matches, and a compass. Oh, I'm glad, Kazara, you're perfect timing. The twins' mother handed them each a backpack full of items that she had packed. Alex and Connor appreciated the gesture, but traveling into a fictitious dimension was very different from going on a camping trip. Thanks, Mom, Alex said. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, you know, this isn't our first rodeo, Connor said, and he looked through his backpack. Oh, cool. Chocolate chip. Thanks. It's just a few things. I'll feel better knowing that you have them, Charlotte said. So where's your first stop? Any idea how long you'll be gone for? Alex turned to Connor, just as curious as their mother. For the first time in their lives, she was leaving the planning to her brother. She offered to help a number of times, but Connor was determined to do everything himself. Not insisting was a gamble on Alex's part, but he seemed very confident that he had everything taken care of. All right, first up is my short story, Starboardia, Connor said excitedly. It's a pirate adventure set in the Caribbean Sea around the 1700s. The story is about Captain Auburn Sally and her all-female crew as they search the deserted islands for buried treasure. Charlotte hid her concern behind a smile. That sounds progressive, she said. Don't worry, we'll be fine, Connor said. Auburn Sally is based on Goldilocks. We'll find her ship, we'll tell her the situation, and we'll bring her and her crew back to the house. It's going to be easy. If you say so, Charlotte said, unconvinced. Go get him, Bob said and patted him on the back. Connor had organized his writings neatly into a binder with tabs separating the short stories. He opened the binder to the first page of Starboardia and set it on the living room floor. Are you sure there isn't anything we need before we go? Alex said one final time. There's nothing you're overlooking or forgetting? Trust me, I've got everything under control, he said. If there's one thing I know inside and out, it's my short stories. I've actually really been looking forward to this. I bet my characters are going to be excited to meet me. Traveling into the stories had been all that Connor could think about since he first had the idea. Naturally, the circumstances to warrant the trip were terrible, but he still felt like the luckiest author in the world. Who else got to visit the world and meet the people that only existed in their imagination? Fair. Connor often fantasized about seeing a film or a play based on his writing one day, but this would be so much better than that. This wouldn't be someone else's interpretation or adaptation of his words. This would be everything purely as he envisioned it. Connor removed Mother Goose's flask, which contained a portal potion, from his back pocket. He poured a couple of drops onto the binder and then stored the flask safely in his backpack. The pages illuminated like a powerful spotlight, shining a bright beam of light toward the ceiling. All right, here we go, Connor said. Wish us luck. Good luck, Bob said. We'll be right here when you get back.
Make good choices, Charlotte said. There's also some sunscreen in your bag if it's sunny out. Connor and Alex strapped on their backpacks, stepped into the beam of light, and disappeared from the house. Just like when they traveled into the wonderful Wizard of Oz, Peter Pan, and Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The portal potion first took them to an endless space with nothing but words. Rather than printed text, words were written all around them, as if there were hundreds of invisible pencils moving through the air. Each word was in Connor's messy handwriting. Awesome, Connor said. It's like we stepped into my brain. You've got to work on your penmanship, Alex noted. The handwritten words stretched into shapes and then gained color and then texture and finally then transformed into the objects that they described. Connor watched in awe as the world of his first short story came to life all around him. Alex was excited too until she saw the words ocean waves stretching below their feet. Hey, Connor, she said, should we be worried about... But before she could even finish her sentence, the twins fell into an ocean that formed under their feet. Strong waves crashed over them, pushing them farther and farther below the water. The water was difficult to swim against, but kicked their way to the surface, and they spit out mouthfuls of salty water. Connor saw his binder of short stories floating in the water nearby and retrieved it before the waves carried it away. If he lost that binder, the twins would lose their exit back to the other world. Alex angrily splashed water in her brother's face. Why didn't you say that we needed a boat? She asked. Sorry, Connor said. I forgot that the first thing I described was ocean. By now, the handwritten words had finished forming the world of Starboardia all around them. They were bobbing up and down in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. The air was so misty they could barely see each other, let alone land or ships in the distance. Alex snapped her fingers and a small wooden rowboat appeared in front of them. The twins climbed aboard and caught their breath. Connor put the binder in his backpack where it would be safe. If anything happened to it, they would have no way back home. Well, that was a rough start, Alex said. What's the second thing that you described? The Dalai Lama, Connor said. The Dalai Lama? Yeah, it's the name of Auburn Sally's ship, he said. Don't judge me. I thought it was a funny name for a ship. We should see it any minute now. And good morning, Isabella. For those of you who can't see, it's not like the Dalai Lama. It's Dolly, D-O-L-L-Y, and Llama, like the animal. Towering shadow appeared in the mist. Something very large headed their way. The shadow grew larger and darker as the details formed and it got closer. Finally, the twins saw that it was a pirate ship sailing straight toward their rowboat with no sign of slowing down. It was going to plow right into them. Abandon boat! Connor yelled, and the twins dived into the water just as it smashed into their rowboat, crushing it to pieces. Once again, Alex and Connor were caught under the vicious waves. They swam to the surface and sloshed around the choppy water as the pirate ship sailed right past them. Ahoy! Connor yelled up at the ship. Hey, twins overboard! Can you help us? A few seconds later, a rope ladder was rolled off the ship and it landed in the water next to the twins. They grabbed it, they climbed up, and they pulled themselves over the ship's railing and collapsed onto the lower deck. They were drenched and coughing up seawater. Alex looked up and saw a large black flag flying above the ship with a llama's skull on it. This must be the Dalai Lama, Alex said, and she pointed out the flag to Connor, and a giant smile grew on his face. He leapt to his feet and he helped his sister to hers. The flag was proof that they were in his short story. We made it, he exclaimed. Alex, we're in Starboardia. His excitement was cut short when they heard footsteps nearby. A dozen female pirates surrounded Alex and Connor, and they didn't look friendly. The pirates pointed their swords and their rifles at the twins. Well, 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 said a woman with an eye patch. Look what we have here. What are two scallywags doing in the middle of the sea? Asked a woman with enormous lips. Too young to be in the Navy, too fair to be pirate. Connor almost stepped on a pirate behind him, and he jumped. Having no legs, the pirate walked on her hands and held a dagger within her teeth. My guess is they were stowaways, the legless pirate said. I'm surprised the sharks didn't find them first. Connor couldn't believe his characters were living and breathing right before his eyes. The women were just as rough and dirty and sunburned as he imagined them. He grinned from ear to ear and jumped up and down. I am so happy to see you guys, he said, and the pirates tilted their heads confused like puppies. No one had ever been happy to see them before. Guys, it's me, Connor said. I'm Connor Bailey. The pirates raised their eyebrows and scratched their heads. Should they know who he was? Who? A pirate with a round, flat face said. Oh, come on, Connor laughed. I'm the author. The author of what? a pirate asked with bare feet. Of this story? Connor laughed. I created this ocean, I created this ship, I created all of you. Do you really not recognize me? Connor thought for sure it would have clicked by now, but the pirates just stared at him awkwardly and as perplexed as before. He's been marooned for too long, said a pirate with a peg leg. Boy's gone mad. And the other pirates nodded in agreement. Connor was getting frustrated. No, look, I'm not crazy, he said. Look, where is Auburn Sally? Let me talk to her. I'm sure she'll straighten this whole thing out. This is my own fault. I should have written you guys to be smarter. The pirate stopped, looking puzzled, and began staring daggers at him. Alex covered her face and let out a sigh. This was not going to be as easy as her brother had thought. Oh, Captain, the pirate with the eye patch called. There's someone down here who'd like to have a word with you. And suddenly a woman did a backflip off the upper deck and landed directly in front of the twins. She wore a large black hat, a long brown coat, tall boots, and had a sword and pistol attached to her thick belt. Alex knew that this was Auburn Sally from the moment she laid eyes on her. If her acrobatics weren't enough, the captain looked exactly like Goldilocks. The only difference in their features was that the captain had long locks of auburn hair. Sally, Connor said like he was seeing an old friend because, well, technically, he was. He stepped toward the captain to give her a hug, but Auburn Sally quickly drew her pistol and aimed it at his head. Am I supposed to know you, boy? Auburn Sally asked, and Connor was shocked by the treatment he was receiving from his own characters. He expected a warm and gracious welcome, but instead the heroine of his story was holding a gun to his head. Without him, none of them would even exist. He wondered if this was what it was like to be an underappreciated parent. He held up his hands and backed away from the pistol. Okay, time out, he said. Everyone just calm down and let me explain. My name is Connor Bailey. This is my sister Alex, and I know this is really hard to believe, but I'm your creator. We're living in a short story that I wrote for my 8th grade English class. Auburn Sally looked at him with more perplexity than all of her crew added together. He's got yellow fever, she said finally. Prepare the plank. We need to get him off the ship at once. No, look, I'm not sick either, Connor said. Fine, look, you don't believe me, so I'll prove it. And he walked around the circle of women, pointing at each pirate. That's Winky Wendy, Fish Lips Lucy, Somersault Sydney, Pancake Face Patty, Stinky Feet Phoebe, and that's Peg Leg Peggy, he said. Well, I prefer Margaret, said the pirate with the peg leg. Fine, Margaret, Connor said and rolled his eyes. In the back, that's High Tide Tabitha, Catfish Kate, Too Much Rum Rhonda, Big Booty Bertha, Not So Jolly Joan, and up there in the crow's nest, that's Siren Sue. Your captain is Auburn Sally, and the ship is called the Dalai Lama. Connor crossed his arms and confidently waited for their apologies. The pirates were startled by how much he knew. They all looked at their captain, waiting to see how she would respond. There's only one explanation for how a young man that we've never met before could know so much, Auburn Sally said. He's a warlock. Tie him and his sister up and we'll burn them at the stake on the next island that we find. Before they knew it, the twins' backpacks were yanked off of them, and they were pushed against the main mast. The pirates wrapped ropes around their bodies, binding their torsos to the ship. Connor was so mad that he turned bright red. Let us go or you'll be sorry, he yelled. Just wait until I get home. I'm going to write a sequel where you all get shipwrecked and you have to eat your own boots to survive. The pirates laughed at his attempt to scare them. Winking Wendy pulled the ropes even tighter just to spite him. Keep it up, Wendy. We'll see who's laughing when I have a seagull pluck out your other eye, Connor warned. Alex, can you even believe this? How did you expect them to react? She asked. What would you do if a guy showed up out of nowhere and told you that we were characters in his story? I'd punch him in the face for making everything so damn difficult for us, he said. Alex, you gotta do something. Zap them with a sleeping spell or turn them into seahorses. You gotta do anything. No, Alex yelled. I've been asking you for days if you needed any help planning, and you told me you had everything under control. Well, so far we've almost drowned, we've narrowly missed being crushed by a ship, and now we're being captured by your pirates. You and I have a different definition of what under control means. Alex, don't be a child, Connor said. Grow up, Connor, she said. This is your mess. You clean it up. Fine, I will, he yelled. I don't need you or your stupid magic. I'll find a way out of this myself. Although Alex and Connor were tied up right next to each other, they each pretended the other wasn't there, and they pouted in silence. A strong ocean breeze began clearing the mist, and it uncovered the sun. Soon the ship had a breathtaking view of the ocean surrounding it, and there was nothing to see but the bright blue Caribbean Sea for miles around them. Captain Auburn Sally returned to the upper deck and wrapped her hands around the large helm. She looked out at the open water, and a radiant smile spread across her face. There was nothing keeping her back and no one to stop her. She was surrounded by an abundance of freedom and possibilities. Connor remembered writing about that expression. It was an expression that he always wished the real Goldilocks would have more often. "Once again, it's a beautiful day to be a pirate," Auburn Sally said to her crew. "Ladies, lower the sails." The twins looked up, expecting the sails above them to come down and fill with ocean air, but instead, Siren Sue peeked out of the crow's nest with a treasure chest full of scarves, jewelry, hooks, and weapons. The other pirates gathered below her and with handfuls of coins. "You heard the captain. Time to lower the sails," Siren Sue announced. "For a limited time only, everything is half off. Scarves are 2 coins, earrings are 4 coins, necklaces are 6 coins, and rifles are 8 coins. Get your accessories while the sails are low." Siren Sue sold off items to the pirates below until there was nothing left in her chest. The women ogled their new purchases and showed them off to one another. It was absolutely baffling to Alex, and she glanced over at Connor, who looked just as confused as she did. "I don't understand what's happening," he said. "I never wrote that." "Did you mean to write lower the sails, S-A-I-L-S, like the sails on a ship?" asked Alex. "Oops," Connor said. "I might have spelled that wrong." To his relief, once the S-A-L-E-S sails were over, the pirates lowered the S-A-I-L-S sails too. They were made from cream-colored cloth, exactly the color of Porridge's coat. They filled the ocean breeze, and the Dalai Lama sailed into the horizon. I mean, hilarious, you guys. Absolutely hilarious. Why won't it let me unfilter Naisa? Okay, weird, whatever. Naisa laughed at lower the sails, but she won't get unfiltered. Auburn Sally turned the ship's wheel back and forth as she guided the vessel through the roughest waters. She kept a watchful eye on the entire horizon around them. The longer the ship sailed... Oh, Amanda did. Okay, that's why. The more familiar the expression grew on her face, one the twins had seen Goldilocks wear many times when they first met her. The captain seemed a little sad, like she was hoping something would appear in the distance, but it never came. Connor recognized this face too, and he began to worry. "Oh no," he said. "We're getting close to the part of the story where the Navy shows up." "How can you tell?" Alex asked. "From the way Auburn Sally's looking over at the ocean longingly," he said. "The pirates are about to get company." And like clockwork, Siren Sue climbed down from the crow's nest in a panic. "Captain," she shouted, "look to the east. A ship from the British Navy is approaching." Auburn Sally quickly unfolded the long telescope and scanned the eastern horizon. Alex and Connor squinted because they could barely see a speck moving in the distance. The captain smiled as she spotted the ship. This is what she had been hoping for. "Ah, it looks like Admiral Jacobson has finally caught up with us," Auburn Sally announced to her crew. "Any orders, Captain?" Winking Wendy asked. "I'm tired of playing the Admiral's game of cat and mouse," the captain said. "Hoist the sails and prepare for battle." The pirates all saluted her and went to work right away. They loaded the cannons on the deck and sharpened their swords. The sails were rolled up and the ship slowed down, allowing the Admiral's ship to gain on them. The small speck that the twins saw in the distance grew quickly into an enormous ship twice the size of the Dalai Lama. Soon, they could make out a British flag waving from the tallest mast, and the ship's name was painted along the side of it, the Royal Tantrum. While the pirates scurried around the deck preparing for battle, the captain gazed at herself in a compact mirror. Auburn Sally applied lipstick and blush. She brushed her hair to give it extra volume, and she wiped all the smudges off of her clothing. The captain wasn't getting ready for combat. She was getting ready for a date. "That's how she prepares for battle?" Alex asked her brother, and Connor nodded bashfully. "Just wait," he said. "In about 5 minutes, it's all going to make perfect sense." When the Royal Tantrum was getting closer to the Dalai Lama, the pirates dropped the sails and sailed around the Navy ship. The twins could see that the Royal Tantrum's lower deck was full of British soldiers running amok. They spotted Admiral Jacobson on the upper deck. The Admiral was posed regally, with one foot on the railing and a long sword in his hand. He was a very handsome man with broad shoulders and pitch-black hair in a neat ponytail. He wore a blue coat with several buttons and badges, and the closer the pirate ship sailed around the Navy, the more familiar he seemed. "Connor, is it just me, or does the Admiral look exactly like Jack?" Alex asked, and she glanced between the captain and the Admiral, just like her brother had said. It all finally made sense. "Oh," Alex said. "I get it now. Auburn Sally's based on Goldilocks and an Admiral's based on Jack. Starboardia is a love story." "Connor, that's so sweet." Connor grunted like his sister had just insinuated something very crude. "Excuse me," he said defensively. "Starboardia is a pirate adventure. It might have elements of love, but it's absolutely not a love story." Alex raised an eyebrow at him. "Sure," she said mockingly. But by now, the Dalai Lama was sailing around the Royal Tantrum with gusto. The British sailors ran across the deck to watch the pirates circling them. Winking Wendy took the wheel and Auburn Sally went to the railing to see the Admiral. She mimicked his pose on the railing of her own ship, and the two commanders locked eyes. If Alex hadn't known that there was something between them before, she definitely knew it now. "Good afternoon, Admiral," Auburn Sally said. "What brings you to this part of the Caribbean today?" "You're a wanted woman, Auburn Sally," the Admiral said. "You mean by more than just you?" the captain said playfully. "Honestly, Admiral, you're so persistent, I'm starting to think that you have a little crush on me." The pirate roared with laughter. Even the Navy soldiers were amused and covered their mouths to hide their chuckles. The whole scene felt like it should have happened in a high school hallway instead of on the Caribbean Sea. "The entire British Navy is just smitten with you, Captain," the Admiral said. "They've asked me personally to escort you back to land. Come willingly, and I will not sink your ship." "Admiral, may I remind you that I'm literally sailing circles around you?" she said. "It's your ship I'm worried about. I hate to destroy it and embarrass you in front of all the other men. By the way, nice tights, gentlemen." "So, it's going to be the hard way, is it?" Admiral Jacobson said with a grin, and Auburn Sally laughed. "Oh, Admiral," she said, "you haven't learned by now. I'm the kind of girl who likes to play hard to get," Connor yelled, finishing her sentence. The captain and her crew quickly turned to him, wondering how on earth he knew exactly what she'd been planning to say. "I told you, this is my story," Connor reminded them. "I wrote the cheesy dialogue coming out of your mouths. Would you just quit the innuendos already and get to the battle?" Auburn Sally glared at him suspiciously for a moment and then turned to face the Admiral again. "I agree with the Warlock," she said. "Ladies, open fire." And as the Dalai Lama circled the Royal Tantrum, it was like the ships were joined together in a dangerous waltz, and the pirates were taking the lead. They lit their cannons and fired them at the Navy sailors, blasting large holes in the British ship. The Admiral's sailors retaliated, but the pirate ship was much smaller and moving fast, making it a hard target. The few times that the pirates were hit, the entire ship rattled and swayed in the water, but the damage the Navy was inflicting was nothing compared to the mark that the pirates were leaving. The soldiers looked to the Admiral for guidance, but he seldom gave them orders. It was almost like he wanted to lose. Cannonballs and chunks of wood flew through the air. Parts of the Navy ship were set ablaze, and the sky was filled with smoke. Connor had written the entire battle, but writing it was nothing like living it. Even though he knew exactly what was going to happen, he was still terrified seeing it all come to life. "This is the most dangerous flirting I have ever seen," Alex said. "Don't worry, the pirates win," Connor said. And then he looked up at the captain. "Sally, would you hurry up and tell your pirates to aim for the Navy cannons already? I don't want to get splinters in my eyes." The thought came to the captain's head just a moment before Connor suggested it. "How did you know that?" "Just get to it," he yelled. "Well, aim for the cannons, girls," Auburn Sally ordered, and the pirates followed their captain's orders, aiming their cannons at the navies. They blasted them off the ship, leaving the Royal Tantrum virtually defenseless. The pirates cheered and shook their swords at the sailors. Winking Wendy jerked the wheel, and the Dalai Lama slammed into the Royal Tantrum, bringing the pirate ship up alongside it. "Now let's take their ship," Auburn Sally ordered, and each pirate grabbed a rope and swung aboard the Navy ship. The battle continued with hand-to-hand combat on the deck of the Royal Tantrum. The sailors were barely trained for sailing, and they were no match for the pirates attacking them. Winking Wendy flashed her empty eye socket at the sailors, scaring them and causing them to trip over themselves. Stinky Feet Phoebe held her bare feet against their noses, and the fumes made the men temporarily lose consciousness. Having no legs made it easy for Somersault Sydney to tumble into the sailors and knock them down like bowling pins. Pancake-faced Patty seemed to enjoy headbutting the men, which explained the odd shape of her skull. Big Booty Bertha seemed to turn her backside to any of the sailors charging toward her, and then they bounced backwards toward the deck. Some of the pirates weren't as efficient of fighters. Siren Sue sang high notes to hurt the sailors' ears. Fish Lips Lucy irritated them with slobbery kisses, and Too Much Rum Rhonda drunkenly argued with the sailors about religion and politics. Not So Jolly Joan simply cried on their shoulders. These pirates offered perfect distractions for Peg Leg Peggy, or, well, Margaret, to sneak up behind the sailors and trip them with her wooden leg. On the upper deck, Captain Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson walked around each other with their swords raised. They were so lost in each other's eyes that they almost forgot that they had to fight to keep up appearances. When the two eventually started dueling, it resembled more of a passionate tango than an actual sword fight. "This is the most non-violent violence I have ever witnessed," Alex said. "I kept it tame, in case I had young readers," Connor said. "That explains why the antagonists are so simple," she noted. "To be honest, I was really worried about what kind of villains your imagination might have come up with. I'm just glad they're not men in tights. I'm glad they're just men in tights." "The Navy sailors aren't the bad guys in this story," he said. "The bad guys are way scarier than that." They're based on people that I've seen in nightmares, but we'll be long gone before they show up. I mean, I hope. Eventually, the sailors surrendered, and the pirates rounded them up at the center of the Royal Tantrum's lower deck. Auburn Sally pushed Admiral Jacobson off the upper deck, and his men caught him. The pirates raised their weapons in celebration. They had won the battle. "You've lost, Admiral," Auburn Sally said. "The British Navy is going to be so disappointed in you." "Well, sometimes a man fails in order to win," the Admiral said with a smirk, and the Navy sailors were stripped of their weapons and their hands were tied behind their backs. The pirates placed the plank between the ships and forced the sailors to cross it to board the Dalai Lama. Once everyone aboard the Tantrum had been taken prisoner on the Dalai Lama, the pirates blasted the Navy ship with cannonballs until it sank. "Put the prisoners in the cell below deck," Auburn Sally ordered and glanced at the twins. "And I do mean all the prisoners." The pirates untied the twins and pushed them along with the sailors. "Oh no," Connor said. "The bad guys are going to show up soon. I've got to convince Auburn Sally that I'm the author of the story before they get here." "I'm willing to help you if it'll speed things up," Alex said with a sigh. "Well, I'm not willing to accept your help. Not yet," he said. "I told you, I can take care of this on my own." Connor managed to push past the pirates that were manhandling him and his sister. He dashed across the deck, but just before he was in reach of Auburn Sally, he was tripped by Somersault Sydney and tackled by Catfish Kate and High Tide Tabitha. Captain, don't lock us up," he pleaded from underneath the pirates. "I'm warning you, something really bad's about to happen, but you can avoid it if you just listen to me. Hey, Jen." Auburn Sally laughed at his warning. "Will you take him away?" she said, and turned her back on him. The pirates forced Connor to his feet and dragged him away, but he wasn't ready to give up. "I know what you stole from Smoky Sail Sam," Connor yelled, and the entire ship suddenly froze as if he had shouted something obscene. Alex could tell that the pirates and the sailors knew what her brother was talking about. Just the mention of the name Smoky Sail Sam sent a collective chill down all their spines. Auburn Sally turned her back to Connor with large, fearful eyes. He continued his warning, desperate for her to listen. "He knows what you stole from him, too. He knows everything about what happened on the island," Connor said. "Smoky Sail Sam is looking for you and your crew right now. He's going to see the smoke from this battle, and he's going to be here before sunrise tomorrow." Connor knew that if anything would get through to her, this was going to be it. The captain looked him up and down but didn't say a word. "Your orders, Captain?" Catfish Kate asked, and Auburn Sally put on a brave face for her crew. "Throw this boy and his sister in the cell with the others," she said. "If he has tales to tell, then he can share them with the other prisoners." Auburn Sally turned around and faced the ocean. Connor struggled against the pirates again, but it was no use. They were too strong to break free from. That's how he had written them. Connor and Alex were pushed down the steps to the cell below deck with the sailors. "Well, that totally worked," Alex said. "Are you sure you don't want my help?" "Give it a minute," Connor said. "She'll come around. She has to." The captain looked down at the burning wreckage of the Royal Tantrum, and her eyes followed the trail of smoke ascending into the sky. Once all the sailors and the twins were below deck, there were no pirates around to bear witness. She pulled a necklace out that she had kept hidden inside her shirt. Dangling from a gold chain was a blood-red ruby the size of a human heart. While she refused to believe everything Connor had said, she couldn't deny that he did possess the extraordinary knowledge of her ship and crew. If what he said about Smoky Sail Sam was even remotely accurate, then the captain's greatest nightmare was about to come true. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, hey. You don't have to wake up. It's okay. You can stay asleep. You can be a sleepy girl. Hi. Only half hour? That's all you're going to sleep today? Hi, baby. Hi, my angel. You going to go back to sleep? Hi. You want out? You want out? Or you want to sleep? That's amazing, right? Good timing, huh? Yeah. You see screen, Mommy? You want to sit here for a second while Mommy puts everything in the playpen so you don't think you're going into the playpen alone? What do you think? Because you hate thinking you're going in the playpen alone? Should we go together? Yeah.
that Mommy put all the stuff over here. Look. See, Mommy's putting the tripod right here. She's gonna do the Santa slide in 3, 2, woo! She's gonna put the book right here, and then she's gonna get her coffee, and then she's gonna get you. Those are all the things Mommy's doing. You see that you're on the other side of the playpen. That's kind of weird, huh? It's kind of weird, sweetheart. Should we go in? Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay, we're here. We are here. Here, I forgot to ask you if everything was okay last night. The live ended so fast. Oh yeah, he was watching her on the baby monitor for me while I did the live, but he was still working. So when she woke up, I just had to go get her. You know? That's right. She was fine. He was holding her and he was like, I gotta get back to work. So, you know, that is what happened. It was only just that, you know, I can't have her on the live and all that, you know. Because kids, that's right. All right, let's see. I didn't expect her to wake up for another like 30 minutes after that, which is why I wasn't prepared. But it is what it is, right, sweetheart? It is what it is. Can you say that? You say, it is what it is. That's pretty close. Okay, let's see how much of this next chapter she'll let us get through. Right, sweet angel? Okay, the next chapter has one of my favorite things of all time in it. I hope we get to it. This is called The Wrath of Smoky Sails Sam. Are you ready? Smoky Sails Sam, sweetheart. That's not my favorite part, though. You'll see. Baby calls the shots, that's right. Oh my gosh, she's totally feral for these puffs. Yeah. Things were calm below deck on the Dalai Lama. Alex and Connor shared a small cell while Admiral Jacobson and his men occupied 4 large ones. Everyone was silent, not from embarrassment of defeat, but from the sheer exhaustion of the battle. In all fairness, the sailors didn't seem disappointed by their loss and sat rather comfortably in the cells. Many were stretched out and gently rocked to sleep by the sway of the ship. Don't worry, men, Admiral Jacobson said as he paced around his cell. We will find a way off this vessel and bring the pirates to justice. Those criminals may imprison us now, but as soon as we escape, we will make the British Navy proud. The sailors looked around the cell to see who Admiral was talking to, because none of them were too worried or eager to change the situation. After months of strenuous labor operating the Royal Tantrum, imprisonment was a nice change of pace for them. Save it, Admiral, Connor said. The whole crew knows you got the hots for Auburn, Sally. No one's expecting to escape anytime soon. Caddy still likes them? That's funny. The Admiral was outraged by this insinuation. How dare you suggest I welcome the sinking of my ship or allow the pirates to capture my men, he said. I would never betray Britain with affection for a scoundrel like Auburn Sally. Mommy got distracted, huh? Yeah, Mommy got distracted and said it wrong. I know, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Connor sighed and shook his head. Raise your hand if you knew this was going to happen, he said. Come on, don't be shy. He raised his hand and Alex quickly followed, and one by one, the sailors all raised their hands too, and the Admiral was faced with a rude awakening. Despite his efforts to shield it, the heart on his sleeve was just as visible as the badges of honor on his coat. You mean you've all known this entire time? He asked, and the sailors nodded in unison with the twins. To be honest, Admiral, the first mate said, I don't think any of us thought you were trying to hide it. We don't hold it against you, though. The whole reason we joined the Navy in the first place was to have an adventure, and there's never been a dull moment chasing these dames around the sea. The Admiral wanted to argue further, but the jig was clearly up. Instead of clearing his reputation, he just shrugged and sat on the floor. Well, I suppose that is a relief then, isn't it? Jacobson said, and the Admiral lost all desire to form an escape plan. He put his feet up on the metal bars and he enjoyed the quiet and calm of the cells with the rest of the crew. Connor, on the other hand, was growing more agitated by the second. His mission to locate and recruit his characters was going to be much more difficult now that he had refused his sister's help. So what happens next in the story? Alex asked with a yawn. Well, Auburn Sally's going to invite Admiral Jacobson to dinner in her chambers, Connor said. They'll admit their affection for each other, and then Jacobson will convince his sailors to join Auburn Sally's crew of pirates.
Nice, Alex said. And you still think Starboardia isn't a love story? Connor grunted. Okay, fine. It's a love story, he said. You identified your brother as a big sap. Are you happy now? Alex laughed. I don't know why it's so hard for you to admit it, she said. Plenty of men write romances. I've never meant to write a romance, Connor said. I just thought that Jack and Goldilocks had a really cool story, and everyone wants to be a hero, but Jack gave up everything to be with the person that he loves. He didn't care what people thought of him. It takes courage to face a giant, but it takes true hero to stand up to the world. I guess I just wanted to celebrate that by putting it into my own story. A smile grew on Alex's face as she listened to her brother. He kept his feelings hidden behind the emotional brick wall, but every so often she managed to knock a hole through it and peek inside. Sweetheart, do you think we could use something else to play with? Here, how about you play with all your toys and Mommy has a tripod? You're so mad because I took the tripod away. What about this? You have a bunny. You have a dinosaur that Mommy just accidentally threw. Dinosaur, I'm a dinosaur. We are the dinosaurs marching, marching. We are the dinosaurs. What do you think of that? Okay, you don't think anything of it. Great. I love that song, by the way. Where was I? A smile grew on Alex's face as she listened to her brother. He kept his feelings hidden behind an emotional brick wall, but every so often she managed to knock a hole in it through it and peek inside. You're not a sap, but you're definitely a hopeless romantic, she said. I think Mrs. Peters was right. You're going to learn a lot about yourself traveling into these stories. Connor didn't want to agree with her, but he knew that she was right. Oh, brother, he said. Next thing you know, I'll be collecting porcelain dolls and listening to polka music. The doors opened and Winking Wendy and Somersault Sydney walked inside. They rattled the cell bars with their weapons to disturb their captives, but the tranquil sailors didn't even look up. The pirates unlocked the Admiral's cell and pulled him out by the ponytail. I know. Ouch! Admiral Jacobson shouted. What is the meaning of this? The captain wants you to join her for dinner, Winking Wendy said, and the sailors hooted and whistled, making the Admiral blush. Winking Wendy flashed them her empty eye socket, and they all quickly calmed down. The pirates unlocked the door of the twins' cell next. What's going on? Connor asked. The captain wants you two to join her as well, Somersault Sydney said. Connor wasn't expecting this. Up to this moment, every beat of the story had followed his writing without a hitch. He hoped this meant that his warning about smoking sails Sam had caught the captain's attention. The pirates escorted the twins and the Admiral through the Dalai Lama to the upper deck. They opened a pair of double doors and pushed the twins and the Admiral into the captain's quarters. Sorry, I keep moving you guys back and forth so that she doesn't catch you. Sasha, I thought I was upset when I congratulated Amanda and she offered... Wait, what? Sasha thought I was upset when I congratulated... Oh, yes. Not upset, but I was just like, just so you know. And she was like, no, thanks. I don't want that responsibility. I'm going to make her one just to piss her off right now. Watch this. I'm going to make... Now that I know how to do it, I'm just going to start making everyone a mod just for the shit of it. Excuse my language. Now Ray's a mod. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do about it. Now that we don't have slime lives, we don't even need mods. That's what I'm saying. Everyone can be a mod now. Look, here, Nikki. Okay, let's make Nikki a mod. There's Nikki next. Boom, boom, boom. Everyone who's a part of book club is now a mod every time I see your name. Okay. I mean, whatever, right? What does it matter? We don't have any... Next time I see someone else, they're getting turned into a mod next. As long as I'm not holding on to a baby. Oh my gosh. When I have a hand, the next one of you is getting turned into a mod. But right now I have... No, honey. As soon as I have a free hand, someone else is a mod. Honey, do you want to play with this? Look, it's a moose. What does the moose say? Wah. Wah. She's going like this. Moose doesn't. Maybe Moose does that. I actually don't know. I've never seen a moose in real life. It's so good. Tale of Magic is so good, but we're not there for 2 more books. Well, a book and a half, because we're almost done with this. Well, we're almost halfway through this book, and then we'll be a book and a half away from Tale of Magic. Okay, where were we? Sorry. Here we go. Auburn Sally's private chambers were the most elegant part of the ship. The walls were covered in red wallpaper and gold-crowned molding. A crystal chandelier hung over a long wooden table set of 4. The captain looked like she was deep in thought when they arrived. She sat in the back of her chambers at a desk with several maps of the Caribbean Sea across it. She was sitting with one foot up and spun a dagger on the desk like a dreidel. Her hat and coat were hung up on a rack beside the desk, exposing her full head of long, wavy hair. "Your guests, Captain," Winking Wendy said as she presented the twins and the Admiral. "Oh, thank you," Auburn Sally said. "You may leave us." Winking Wendy and Somersault Sydney left the chamber, shutting the double doors behind them, and Connor had written the next part of the story as a romantic dinner between the captain and the Admiral, but obviously things had changed. As soon as they entered, Auburn Sally fixated on him with an inquisitive, unwavering stare. "Is that the moose? Is that your moose? You want a different animal?" It was the moose from Ray. This is the deer, or buck. I guess it's both. I don't actually have any idea what a sound a deer makes. I don't know, honey. I'm sorry. I don't know what a deer sounds like. This is a dolphin. They go like... Look at this dolphin. How amazing is this dolphin, you guys? Can you do She said no. Pretty close if they're in a rut. Fair enough. Winking, "Since you seem to know everything, I imagine there's no point in pretending that the Admiral and I are adversaries," she said. "Nope," Connor said. "You guys are in a complicated long-distance relationship." "Just for the record," Alex chimed in, "I think this is very romantic." Connor gave his sister a dirty look. She was never going to let that go. The Admiral glanced between the twins and the captain, waiting for someone to fill him in. "Will someone explain to me how this lad knows so much about us?" he asked. "Yeah, well, according to him, we're just characters in a story that he's written," Auburn Sally said with amusement. "He believes that everything in this world is a figment of his imagination." Connor didn't appreciate the disdainful tone in her voice. The Admiral looked at him just like everyone else had after his pronouncement. "Have I done or said anything to even contradict that?" Connor asked. "Because I'm pretty sure I've been right about everything so far." Auburn Sally glared at him. Challenging look came to her face. "I have something hidden underneath my shirt," the captain said. "There are only 4 people alive who know that it exists. 2 are in this room, and 1 is the Queen of England. Guess correctly, and I might take you more seriously." I feel like moose are a myth. Yeah, right? Yeah, that's pretty funny. Connor knew exactly what she was referring to and didn't waste a minute to prove it. "You're wearing a necklace called the Heart of the Caribbean," he said. "It's the most prized piece of jewelry in the Western Hemisphere. It was given to Governor Conley by Queen Anne as a token of appreciation for governing a small island called St. Ballina." The intensity in Auburn Sally's face dissolved and her mouth fell open. She and the Admiral were completely dumbfounded. The captain pulled on a gold chain around her neck and lifted the large ruby necklace out of her blouse. The ruby was brighter than the crown molding and the chandelier put together. Connor pointed at the jewel. "That's what you stole from Smoking Sail's Sam," he said. "And you're wrong, by the way. There are 5 people alive who know it exists. 7, including my sister and me. There's a pirate named Killy Billy, and he saw you steal it. He's the one who told Smoky Sail's Sam that you have it now. Sam is on his way to get it back." Alex was usually really good about filling in the blanks, but the lack of detail was getting really frustrating here. "Would you mind sharing with the rest of the class who Smoky Sail's Sam is?" Alex asked. Connor hesitated. He knew the story like the back of his hand. It just wasn't a pleasant one to share. "Smoky Sail Sam is the most feared pirate in the Caribbean," he explained. "He's so powerful the British Navy refuses to go anywhere near him. He has a fleet of 5 ships and hundreds of pirates. His ships burn rows of torches." Oh, hey. I'm kidding. No, oh, hey. Sorry about that. I will continue reading. "His ships burn rows of torches above their sails, leaving trails of smoke through the sky, so the whole Caribbean knows who they've been and where they're headed. They obliterate any ship that they encounter, whether it's a threat or not."
Hello.
That's pretty funny.
Thought I could sneak up on her. She's too.
It's too clever.
Yeah. Hey, baby. Hey,
You see Dada?
Big hugs.
Say hi, Dada.
Oh, big hugs.
Alex gulped. This was exactly the kind of villain she was afraid her brother would create. "He sounds charming," Alex said. "How did he become so powerful?" "Smoky Sail Sam used to be a slave," Connor said. Do you want me to come out there so you guys can get in here?"
What?
Do you want me to go out there so you can get in here with her?
Do you want Connor?
No, I'm asking you what you want to do with her.
I was gonna give her a big hug for a little.
Oh, okay, fine.
5
Live your life.
minutes.
He snuck up on her. That's what was going on. He was crawling over. He didn't want me to say anything because he didn't want her to know that he was there. He was going to try to sneak up on her. Smoky Sail Sam used to be a slave, Connor said. He was captured from an African village by slave traders and brought to the Caribbean on a slave ship. However, on the way over, he broke the chains that bound him and led the other slaves into a mutiny. They killed the slave traders and took over the ship. Sam became the new captain and liberated the slaves that became his crew. He renamed the ship the Vengeance. Unfortunately, all that power went to Sam's head. His crew wanted to go home, but Sam wanted to continue on and seek more revenge. He sailed the Vengeance to an island of St. Belina and ordered his men to raid it. Governor Conley sent word to the British Navy that they were under attack, but since the island was so small and valueless, the Navy abandoned him. The governor and all the men on St. Belina were killed, and their families were forced to work as servants. Since there was no government or authority on St. Belina, criminals from all over the Caribbean Sea sailed there and joined Sam. Soon, he had enough men to form a fleet of pirates. They terrorized all the colonies nearby, growing stronger and stronger after every target they hit. They liberated the slaves from the Vengeance, wanting nothing to do with it. So they stole a ship from Sam's fleet and headed back to Africa. Sam was so outraged that he sailed after them and sank their ship. The smoky debris from the destruction is how Sam became known as Smoky Sail Sam, and the whole Caribbean learned of his ruthlessness. As time went on, Smoky Sail Sam had a daughter named Sumir. Governor Conley's only child was a girl named Christine, and they forced her to work as a maid. The young women became very close, and they loved each other like sisters. Samir helped Christine plan an escape from St. Belina. The heart of the Caribbean was the only object of Governor Conley's that Smoky Sail Sam did not destroy, so Christine stole it back before she left. It didn't take long before Smoky Sail Sam realized that it was missing. To save her friend, Samir took the blame. Rather than showing his own child any mercy, Smoky Sail Sam made a gruesome example out of her. He cut her throat in front of his entire fleet, further proving his brutality, and no one ever stole from him again. Christine escaped from the island and stole the heart of the Caribbean and sold it to a jewel merchant, but then they stole it back the following day. The money she had acquired in the sale was enough to buy her own ship, and she hired a crew. That ship she named the Dalai Lama, and it became known through the Caribbean as Auburn Sally. Alex finished her brother's sentence. Correct, he said. When Jacobson became an admiral, his first assignment was to capture the sailing thief Auburn Sally. It was love at first sight. They've been chasing each other around the Caribbean ever since. What the captain doesn't know was that Kelly Billy told Smoky Sail Sam that he saw her steal the heart of the Caribbean. Sam's been following the Dalai Lama through the sea too, and he's getting closer by the minute. Since Sally's the only person who stole something from him and lived to see another day, he wants to make another gruesome example out of her. Connor, that backstory is so dark. Why would you write something so dreadful? Alex asked. I told you it was based on a nightmare I had, he said. Besides, it's not like real pirates were any better than that. Connor turned to Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson with desperation in his eyes. Now do you believe that I created you? The captain and the admiral were both astonished by Connor's familiarity with their lives. Whoever he was, wherever he came from, they could no longer deny that there was something unique and very eerie about him. I believe that you put pen to paper about all of this, but I'm not entirely convinced that you created this world or the people in it, Auburn Sally said. Connor had rolled his eyes so many times. Do you want me to hold her so you can cut that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's not close enough.
Okay. His eye sockets were getting sore.
Where's her purple sippy cup?
Her purple sippy cup?
Magenta.
Oh, right here. We were drinking it this morning. She had the hiccups. Where was I? Are you putting her back in here or no?
Yeah, you can put us in the chair if you want.
Okay. I just wanted to know if she was coming back in here because I don't need to sit in here if she's not going to be in here. It's also hard to block you guys from there. Okay. We're back.
Very excited about water.
What?
She's very excited about water.
Oh, yeah, she loves water.
Hydro, homie.
Hydro homie.
Yeah, very excited.
So yummy? Is that so yummy? Wow. Delicious.
Wow, what a great audience.
Wow, what a great audience. Connor had rolled his eyes so many times that his eye sockets were getting sore. So you think I plagiarized the story? He asked. Explorers are quick to claim places that they find, but they don't create the land they raise flags on, Auburn Sally said. Perhaps all writers are nothing more than subconscious explorers sailing across the sea of other worlds, and you're just the first to discover ours. Alex was intrigued by the captain's theory. She wondered if every fictional story she had ever read was just the author's discovery rather than his or her own idea. Perhaps imagination and subconscious map to uncharted worlds of the cosmos were the same. It certainly would explain why her grandmother's portal potion was so effective. It didn't create the world that the text described, it simply provided a doorway into a world that had always been there. Oh yeah, for sure, Amanda.
Doesn't that imply that there's no creativity then?
That's kind of what she's implying, yeah.
Well, that's dark.
It is dark, but this is a dark story. Starboardia is a dark story. Connor was getting a headache trying to understand this himself. That sounds really deep and complex, but you're really missing the point, he said. I'm trying to tell you all the Smoky Sail Sam's fleet is headed here right now. He's planning to kill all of you and take back the heart of the Caribbean, but if you listen to us, we can help you avoid him. How? Admiral Jacobson asked. By helping my sister and me, Connor explained. I'm about to make you an offer. It's going to be hard to grasp, but I want you to sit down for this. Auburn, Sally, the Admiral, and the twins took seats around the long table. Do you want me to explain this part? Alex asked. I told you. I got this, Connor said, and he cleared his throat. You know the subconscious sea of the other world you were just talking about? Well, for all intents and purposes, that exists. There's another world that's in big trouble, and it's one that I didn't write about. All our friends live there, and a horrible army has invaded it. My sister and I...
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a monster.
My sister and I are recruiting a bunch of people from different worlds to help us fight the army. If you come with us and help us defeat them, we'll bring you right back here. Connor grinned like he was being more than generous. The captain and the admiral exchanged a puzzled look. Something here didn't add up. That's not an offer, Auburn Sally said. An offer is an exchange. Taking us away from our problems, making us fight for you, and then bringing us right back to our problems isn't an exchange. That's just more work for us. She's really got a point, Alex said. Okay, Connor said, and he quickly thought about something appealing to offer. Well, if you help us, I'll tell you how to defeat Smoky Sail Sam. The captain and the admiral nodded as they considered this, and Jacobson whispered something into Auburn Sally's ear like an attorney speaking with his client. So you're telling us that we defeat Smoky Sail Sam? The captain asked, regardless of whether we help you or not? Duh, Connor said with a snort. That's the whole point of the story. Alex slapped a hand against her forehead. Her brother was oblivious to what Auburn Sally was implying. She appointed herself his attorney and pulled him aside to whisper in his ear. Connor, you basically just told them that they don't need to help you. She whispered, you need to make them an offer they can't refuse. Oh, dang it, he said. I should never have written them to be so cunning. Thanks for the heads up. The twins turned back to the captain and the admiral, and Connor let out a slow and menacing chuckle. Silly, silly Sally, he said. What you don't know is that the road to victory is a long and tedious one. There are dozens of battles and hundreds of casualties and thousands of miles awaiting you. It takes years to learn what I can tell you in a matter of seconds. So if you help us, I'll give you the shortcut to your triumph, and I'll save you a ton of hassle. You'd be sparing your ship from a lot of damage, and you'd be saving a lot of lives on your crew. Auburn Sally and Admiral Jacobson whispered between themselves again. They both knew that they would have to face Smoking Sail Sam eventually. There was no way of getting around it. If Connor would supply them with the information on how to do it efficiently, they would consider his offer seriously. You okay, baby girl?
Tea's done.
Too much water?
Too much water, baby.
All at once?
What are you doing?
They turned to the twins and presented a counteroffer. We'll help you if you help us defeat Smoky Sail Sam first, Auburn Sally said, and Connor was about to rip his hair out. He silently vowed never to write another smart character into one of his stories ever again. Deal, he said through a clenched jaw. Connor and Auburn Sally shook hands over the table. Alex wasn't convinced that the captain and the admiral were being truthful. Are we okay, Sweet Pea? Too much water all down at once? Yeah. And she pulled her brother aside one final time. How do you know she's being honest? She whispered. Because I wrote them to be as trustworthy as they are calculating, he said. And I'll remind them about that as on the shipwreck in the sequel. Wait, I'll remind them all about the shipwreck in the sequel. Let's discuss the details of our victory over dinner, Aubrey and Sally said. I'm famished. Negotiating always gives me an appetite. It had been hours since their last meal, so the twins were glad to hear it. The captain rang a bell, and a few moments later, Fish Lips Lucy entered the chambers, pushing a cart with several serving trays covered. The quarters were filled with a delectable aroma, and the twins began salivating as their stomachs growled. Connor, what did you write for dinner? Alex asked. Tomato soup, mashed potatoes, and a rosary chicken, Connor said and licked his lips. A rosary chicken? She asked. Did you mean rotisserie chicken? Oh no, he said fearfully. Fish Lips Lucy then uncovered the largest serving tray, and rather than a delicious roasted chicken, she revealed a live chicken, wearing a Catholic rosary. The chicken panicked and fluttered amok around the chamber, squawking loudly and shedding feathers wherever she went. Auburn Sally gave Fish Lips Lucy a dirty look. The chicken seems a little undercooked. Sorry, Captain, Fish Lips Lucy said. I knew I was forgetting something. Suddenly, Siren Sue burst into the chambers, causing everyone to jump and forget about the chicken. Her eyes were large and she was out of breath like she had come in a hurry. Forgive my intrusion, Captain, Siren Sue huffed. I saw smoke rising in the horizon beyond the ship. I inspected it, and I saw a fleet of ships coming this way. Smoking Sail Sam is following us. The captain and the admiral and the twins all stood up so fast that they knocked the silverware and the plates off the table. Auburn Sally darted to the large window at the back of her chambers and looked through a telescope beside her desk. It's Smoking Sail Sam, all right, the captain said, and then jerked her head toward Connor. I thought you said we had until morning. He racked his brain trying to figure out why they were so early. Oh, no. It's because I rushed the battle, he said. There was supposed to be smoke in the sky, but it's earlier than it should have been. You and the Admiral were supposed to exchange a lot more witty banter before the first cannon fired, but I accidentally gave Smoking Sail Sam a head start. Auburn Sally put her hat on, her coat, and immediately went into damage control mode. Lucy, Sue, tell the women to drop the sails at once, she ordered. I want every candle and lantern on the ship extinguished. It will be harder to follow in the dark. Also, free the sailors from the cells. If they want to survive the night, they're going to join the crew. The pirates nodded and ran into their chambers to inform the others. Auburn Sally hurried out onto the deck, and the twins and Jacobson followed. She wrapped her hands around the Dalai Lama's wheel and looked to Connor. Well, she asked, what do we need to do to defeat Smoking Sail Sam? It's not what, it's where, he said. We need to head west, immediately, to Parakeet Islands and past the Isle of Skulls. The captain didn't waste a moment asking questions. She spun the wheel so hard to her right that it almost broke off. Connor, where are you taking us? Alex asked. Starboardia, he said. In my life, I think I have rarely read something as funny as the Rosary Chicken.
So if they just had the realization that none of their creativity is their own creation.
That's not true. It was just something that one of the characters pitched.
Oh, okay.
Not a real person said it. The character was like, what if? Because he's like, I'm your author, and she's like, so what?
I see.
Yeah.
What's the reality, though?
He's the author.
He did create it.
He did create them.
Okay.
Yes, they are in his creation.
Well, that has even more wild implications.
What do you mean?
Actually, either way it does. Because if every creative endeavor creates a world of the characters and the reality,
which is cool.
That means lots of messed up stuff exists out there.
That's true. It also, like what they were saying in one of the earlier chapters, when Alex is in The Once and Future King, she's talking to Arthur and he's like asking her questions. She's like, well, there's a lot of versions of you out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Not just that, but any book.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. It's terrible.
It's weird fast.
Yeah.
There's just a billion Fabio worlds out there.
That's true too.
From women's romance novels.
And some really awful stuff. No, that's not that bad. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, a Fabio book is pretty harmless. Yeah. But those are harmless.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, there's also worse.
There's also, Fabio's books are just whatever.
Have you read them?
No, but they're harmless. I mean, they were printed just to be love stories, whatever. There's nothing really that bad in those.
Really? Are you sure?
Yeah.
The ones that okay.
Yeah, it's the Duke has found this maiden, it's all that. Yeah.
Do you want another one?
They like your philosophical takes on things.
Okay, that's good.
If you hold your hand out like this, she'll take it in her little fingies.
We just ate one. She pointed at it to ask for it.
Yeah, you want that? You want your puffs? It's food. Nom nom nom.
Where did her puff go? There it was.
Where did your puff go?
There you go.
We're almost out of those puffs. We're going to get new ones.
We gotta
Okay,
separate
we
them.
are going to debate the merits of going to the farmer's market in the rain, and we will see you all later. Thank you to Ray for showing us the Liquid IV was wildly on sale. Thank you for that. That was very nice of you. Hey, Catherine. And I will see you all on Monday for more. We are like rocking and rolling this book, you guys. I mean, killing the game, right? We've been reading this book for 3 days and we're that far into it. Okay, so I will see you all on the flip side, and I hope you have a great Saturday and Sunday. And that's it. Yeah, wait, I won't leave until anyone who joined late. I didn't know this. Ray pointed this out to us. This is like on like wild sale right now. I guess it's like a pre-Black Friday thing or something, but this is even cheaper than Costco apparently. I did not know that. Ray is the one who told us this. So I put it here, drop the sales, for anyone who needed it, because I used it during the live, and then everyone was like, well, if we're all getting it, we're all getting it. So I'll stay on for 2 more seconds for anyone who needs to click the link so it doesn't disappear for you. I grabbed it because yeah, it doesn't get any cheaper than this. And that's the whole kit and caboodle. And I guess that's it. All right, everyone grab the link and I'm gonna go. Bye guys.